Hi everyone, it's me, Dr. Whimsy, and today I'm having a conversation about maximizing our profits so that we don't have to continue to be broke aristocrats. This is something that I've been studying a lot over the last couple of months that is an interesting idea, and that is an idea that I am calling, instead of the debt snowball, I'm going to call this the profit snowball. And this is the idea of the profit snowball. The idea of the profit snowball is that the majority of people that are wealthy are not wealthy because they lived frugally. The majority of people are wealthy because they have high incomes. So I'm going to say that one more time so that those of us in the frugal community can think about this. The majority of people that are wealthy right now are not wealthy because they are frugal. They are wealthy because they have higher incomes. Now that doesn't mean we don't live below our means if we want to become wealthy. It doesn't mean that we stop being frugal. It doesn't mean that we stop the debt snowball. It means that there is more to being wealthy than the debt snowball. And this is also an invitation for people to break out of just looking at everything from the perspective of Dave Ramsey. So Dave Ramsey has his 7 baby steps, and if that's working for you, fine, go for it. For me personally, the baby steps did not work for me. I'm a little bit too complicated of a case and a little bit too complicated of a person. When I got interested in Dave Ramsey, I was 50 years old. I had over $300,000 in student loan debt, and I was working at a health food store for $21.50 an hour. So in a situation like that, when you are over the age of 50, when you have extremely high student loan debt, and when you're working 50 hours a week, which doesn't leave a lot of time to start a small business, by the way, the debt snowball, and I had, by the way, quite a bit of, I think I had something like $17,000 in credit card debt by the time I started my small business. Dave Ramsey got me a long way. Baby step 1 and baby step 2, I think, was good for me. You know, I saved my $1,000. I worked extra hours. I paid off the credit cards. But now in hindsight, I think that if I had focused also on the profit snowball, things might have been a little bit better for me. So let me now describe what the profit snowball is. The profit snowball is the idea that the wealthy have larger salaries. If the wealthy have larger salaries, what can I do to have a larger salary? The wealthy, for the most part, own their own businesses. A small percentage of the wealthy are bankers and they're involved in the banking industry, but the overwhelming majority of people who became wealthy by owning their own companies. If a person truly wants to be wealthy, they have to start their own business. Once you start that business, you then have to optimize that business. So say, for example, you start a business for $500 or $1,000, that is a shoestring budget, working from home, working a side job. And your first month you make $500. In the profit snowball, you would put $50 back towards that small business in order to better optimize the business. Maybe you paid for business cards through Vista Prints, or maybe you produced a flyer by going to Kinko's to let everybody know in the neighborhood that you were a dog walker. That is the idea of the profit snowball, that a certain percentage of the income that you are getting back from that business goes back into optimizing the business. So this is something that doesn't get covered in the Dave Ramsey program. If you're somebody like me that has massive amounts of student loan debt, the only way that I would be able to overcome that kind of a debt would be to break out of the debt snowball, to break out of the 7 steps, and instead focus on optimizing my business and optimizing my income. That doesn't mean you stop the debt snowball. To be clear, that doesn't mean you stop the debt snowball. You have to continue with the debt snowball. It means that maybe not be so aggressive that there's no money left over to optimize your business. So for me, I've had to do two things at the same time. I've gotten wise in the sense that part of my income is going to go to Debt Snowball, but not before I have put money aside to optimize my business. Because for sure, the only way that I am going to break out of the debt I'm in is to have the most successful business possible. So the priority is the business. The priority in terms of your investment is to find responsible ways to optimize your business. That means before you go pouring money into your business, it has to be sane, it has to be rational. You can't stop the debt snowball, but you have to pay yourself first for the purpose of optimizing whatever that small business is. If it's job training, get the job training. If it's certification, get the certification. If it's continuing education, get the continuing education. If it's buying equipment, buying the equipment. You invest in the small business to the best of your ability without breaking the bank, without stopping the debt snowball. Say, for example, you had a debt of $20,000 and you were being aggressive on it and you were paying $1,000, $2,000 a month to pay off that $20,000. But then you had no money left over to reinvest in your small business. So now it's, instead of it taking you 20 months, instead of it focusing on your business, you now are going to be pouring all that money for 20 months into paying off your debt because you're completely focused on your debt snowball. But what if you were to slow down the debt snowball, only pay, say, $500, $600, $700 towards that debt, and then put $300 towards optimizing your business? Then your business theoretically starts bringing in more money as a result of the fact that you've optimized that business. Theoretically, then you would be able to pay off the debt faster because your income would have increased. So anytime we're thinking about debt snowball, we also have to be thinking about the profit snowball. The profit snowball in many ways is even more important than the debt snowball. The profit snowball is more important if you're thinking about wealth building and thinking about getting out of debt than even the debt snowball, because the speed with which you can pay off your debt is in proportion to how much money you're bringing in and that you can put aside towards debt reduction. So you always want to focus first and foremost on optimizing your operation, whatever that operation is, whether it's dog walker, house cleaner, mowing lawns, being a web developer on the side. I know somebody that became very successful starting her own business, and then she was able to start hiring people. She kept putting a portion of her money into web development training, promotion, etc., and then she wound up with a very successful business. You also want to think in terms of protecting your business against a recession. Recessions are inevitable. We always have a recession. Ask yourself, can my small business survive the next recession? If that recession goes on for a year, 2 years, 3 years, can my retirement portfolio survive a drop in the stock market of 30-35%? Yes, Dave Ramsey's right. In another 10-20 years, it'll catch up again. But if you're retiring in the next 5 to 10 years and you see a loss of your investments of 30-35%, that is a real concern. That is another reason why you really want to optimize your business and you really want to optimize your passive income sources. So don't be afraid to pay yourself first for the purpose of optimizing that side business, because when you do that, you increase your income and you're going to be able, in the end, to pay off those debts faster. Of course, I want to clarify by saying that when you do invest in your small business, don't do it irrationally and irresponsibly. Do your homework so that you know that those things that you're investing in for your business really are going to pay off. Sometimes we think we need something for our small business, and then we find out that in the end we don't. All right, so thanks for listening to this video, Broke Aristocrats, on the subject of the profit snowball. I think it's a really important subject, particularly for those of us in the frugal community that sometimes feel like we have to delay our happiness and live so frugally we're not living our lives and we're not focusing on maximizing profits and wealth building. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.